Hello. So I pulled up on 4rest and we're about to have a conversation about songwriters making money in the music industry and what the music industry's reluctance is on paying songwriter fees and points. We finna get into it. Hi guys, it's Tiffany. I'm sitting here with Grammy-nominated songwriter and incredible artist 4rest and the songwriter behind the infamous Chloe Bailey songs that all of the smoke is over right now. And I just wanted to tap in with him and talk about a little bit of his journey and what he thinks the resistance is with songwriters getting paid by record companies and by artists, in particular songwriter fees and points. All right, so I'm gonna just pass you the mic.
For sure.
Question: why do you think that record labels and artists have such a hard time as we're trying to evolve this?
I think the first, thanks for advocating for songwriters and picking up the story, because it happened very organically. Me and Tiffany know each other for years, but her company 100%ers took this case on because I was doing it by myself with my attorney, and it wasn't enough to push the needle. So I think that the labels don't think our voice is large enough to make it important. And then a lot of writers and some producers that aren't leveraged with a bunch of placements, you don't have a bunch of number ones, and how dare you demand to be paid a fee? So I think that's the first thing. And then there's the risk of any writer who doesn't have those accolades. They're like, hey, you don't deserve to have a conversation here because you haven't written this. So we don't have to listen to what you say. Now, even when you get to that level, then you run the risk of, which is what all writers and producers are scared of, which is losing the relationships. Oh, he's difficult. He won't conduct fair business because he won't sign off on taking 5% when you wrote 20%.
And they see that as you being difficult if you don't agree.
Absolutely. That's the part that's difficult.
Why do you think that they view that as you being difficult?
That's a good question. I think that because the practices are unfair and they've been unfair for so long, that's why it's viewed as being difficult, because they want you to fall in the assembly line of every writer that's been done wrong until they're 50 or 60. And then it's like, oh, they're a legend. We're going to do right by them. By that time, you've bent over backwards so many times. So I think that they just don't want to pay attention to the fact that this is something we're all going through and that we actually can't pay our bills.
And we can't pay our bills so to be clear, there was a time when songwriters were making more money, but the streaming era has completely demolished that, right? So that's why people like me continue to scream and shout as far as modernizing the business that songwriters do with record labels and with artists, because our money is non-existent now. Unless you get the single, it goes to radio, blah, 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 blah. So let me ask you this. What would be your advice? Because you're an anomaly. Most songwriters are not going to take the position that you took. And I'm really grateful that you took the position that you took, because without it, we wouldn't be here. So what would be your advice to a songwriter that may be in a similar situation that you are with Chloe right now?
Contact 100%ers. No, seriously, make sure that you have an attorney that believes in you. I know it's all business and you want the business to be right, but you're going to need an attorney who knows how to conduct themselves over email and to correspond with other people that are representing the labels and the artists. That maybe it's your attorney's relationship. They like, oh, I know that person's attorney, or I'll reach out to them and we can solve it. Because that's going to give you another leg up, somebody that you can't reach, like the attorney to the A&R, you need that. I think the next phase is don't be afraid to stand on business. Like, if If they come into you and you know you wrote 40% of the song, obviously you're grateful for being in the situation. Thank you for letting me in the room, but you're talented. That's why you're there.
Period.
The rest is like, let's just be fair. And, you know, if you shave off a couple of percentages in here and there, or whatever, your first time being in the room, whatever, it's okay. But I think, let's be clear. If you know you special, and it's a lot of you to know you special, and you wrote majority of the record, or your energy brought majority of the record to the table, then you deserve to be able to stand on business and say, well, I don't like that. Let's keep working and talking about it until the business makes sense for both of us.
Negotiate.
Until it's uncomfortable sometimes to get the truth. So the truth is, I wrote majority, you wrote some, you did a part, or maybe you produced majority of it. So me and you should be split it evenly versus, hey, I feel like I'm leveraged because in the history of producers being leveraged, this is the business practice that we do, so you got to take it. You know, I think that that's something that you don't really want to like play around with. I think you want to more so just be aggressive with what you believe in. If you believe that you wrote majority of that song, then you kind of want to lean more towards what you believe in versus what they're saying you should do.
So for anybody that is the music industry that's watching this, because obviously since this whole thing has been taken public and, you know, I've been doing what I've been doing on socials and whatever, like, you know, obviously there's been plenty of people contacting me, contacting you, contacting everybody. So my question is, like, what do you think is being misunderstood through this process? And, you know, can you give the people some clarity on the things that you think are misunderstood?
Absolutely. I think the most misunderstood part is that we want the songs to come out. We want the business to be good.
Yeah.
We want a relationship with this dope producer as he wants a relationship with the dope writer.
Absolutely.
We attempted to handle it amicably prior to it getting to the spaces it is now. It should not have to go public. I should not go into fight or flight. You shouldn't go into fight or flight. We should both be able to handle it and be like, listen, this is where we're both drawing the line. Let's find a bottom line in this scenario before it gets to F you. We don't need your consent. Or we just gonna put it out anyway and see what happens. So I think that, you know, if that answers your question, like handling it amicably a whole month or year prior, it's not that hard. Having a conversation with the artist you got a relationship with, hey bro, when it's about to drop? Are we thinking sometime in April? Or, okay, cool. Let me know when y'all get the splits. Send it to me. Mm-hmm. Whereas in my situation, I asked the producer several times to send me a copy of the demos. And he's like, we're not sending the demos out. And I wasn't asking for the demos of the artist, but more so the records that we had worked on that the artist liked. So when there's a tension there, then it seems like there's a hidden agenda of the producer, which that may be negotiating a deal that doesn't involve you. So I think just handling it amicably is really the best way prior to the songs coming out. That goes A&Rs, managers, producers. No matter what order it goes in, it all needs to be taken care of so that we can pay our bills too. And we can buy something to eat and not worry about where the next check coming from. And I shouldn't have to be your best friend for you to do fair business. It's just fair business. So I shouldn't have to rub and grease all these elbows just for you to do fair business. If I brought to the table what you wanted the most, which was the talent and the hit song, then you owe me at least fair business.
Period.
That's all.
All right, one last question and for real we done. My last question is, do you feel like where things have gotten with it being public has been productive? Do you feel like it's moved the needle at all for you? It's helping you? Because I definitely get a lot of feedback. Oh, she's just screaming and this isn't going anywhere. So I want to know, do you feel like this is going somewhere with where it's gotten to now?
Yeah. I've handled a lot of scenarios with Grace these past couple years. I feel like every scenario is gonna be different, and the approach of being an activist is a risky approach because you're an ex-songwriter, producer. You understand what it's like and currently a songwriter and producer and Grammy nominated and all those things, you understand what the space is like to be in and be treated unfairly. So I think that I think that this has pushed the needle to the next step of progress. And obviously everybody runs from progress. If something looks like progress, they like, oh, stay away from that. That looks like it's gonna change things, which is provokes fear. So they like, you know what? She's too loud. This is that. This guy's difficult. This is that. But I think that we represent progress, and that's what is changing right now. That's what's pushing the needle, is that they're considering maybe we can't pull this off with a lot of writers. So I think that needle's being changed. We hoping that, all the parties involved in my scenario come around and just do the right thing, because I'm not asking for a lot. I'm just asking to be taken care of for my work that was put out without my consent. So I think that the needle's being pushed because we wouldn't be in conversation with them. They wouldn't have responded. So,
Well, I just want to tell y'all that I'm at Forrest's lovely home, and he got to pay the bills around this motherfucker. So I'm gonna need y'all to cut the check. This home represents success. This home represents paying bills off of making music. You can't do this without having a job, and his job and career is his art. And I think the thing that really made me grab onto this, there's a few things that made me grab onto this, but one of the things that really got under my skin was just seeing how many of the fans were so in love with Same Lingerie and that being their favorite record. You know what I'm saying? And so it just is to be great at what you do and to not be compensated like you are, to not be treated like you are, is unacceptable. So yeah, cut that check. Any last words?
God bless y'all. And shout out to all the fire victims. Dropped some stuff off today. Me, Tiff, her friend, we all just been on some what do they need? So shout out to all the fire victims. I know that that's something that's heavy on everybody's hearts right now. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, y'all. Later.